Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. Welcome back to the channel as we consider number 60 on the AFI Top 100 1933's Duck Soup. Okay, another Marx classic, Marx Brothers classic featuring the four Marx Brothers, the second Marx Brother film on the AFI Top 100. I don't know about you, but I am tired, okay? Just feel like it's been a long week and I've not been sleeping well or sleeping much, maybe both. And so I'm going to speed right through this one because I want to get along to number 59 and up into the 50s and on we go. Quickly though, just wanted to say I put this picture on Facebook today. Vegas, if you could help me with it there. There we go. Just a lot of really warm response to this ultrasound taken of our child at 35 weeks, 36 weeks, 5 days, okay? So I just wanted to just share that with you, okay? Share it with the 36 weeks, 5 days, yeah. Share it with the YouTube universe. You can see that if you see that little tuft of white there on his or her forehead, that's hair. And in the ultrasound, we saw actually a great amount of hair. So we're looking forward to that. Anyway, so there's the baby, and here's number 60, Duck Soup. 1933, Marx Brothers. A very simple premise. The emperor, the leader, king, whoever of Fredonia is not doing very good. The country is in financial peril, and so Mrs. Teasdale offers to give, a significant amount of money to the country of Fredonia if the leader will step down. Of course, he loves his country enough to do so, and she demands that Rufus T. Firefly take over. Rufus, of course, played by none other than Groucho Marx. And so Groucho comes in and in his usual style makes a grand mess of things. Unbeknownst to him, their sort of neighboring nemesis country, Sylvania, not the TV, not the electronics brand, the ambassador of Sylvania sends the spies Ciccolino, or Ciccolini, and Pinky in to spy on Firefly. That's a Chico and Groucho Marx, and so a bunch of madness ensues, and eventually they go to war, and so on and so forth. Regular, standard stock Marx Brothers hilarity ensuing throughout. Very, very funny. A couple reasons why we want to put this on the AFI Top 100, or why at least I think it's on there. It may not... Well, it certainly was not the box office smash that they had hoped for. It did well enough, but financially, it did not achieve. In my surveying here, my quick surveying, I could not find the numbers. I'm sorry for that. I couldn't find either numbers for how much it cost to make or how much it grossed at the box office. But suffice to say, whatever those numbers were, they were not to Paramount's liking. And so I think, for what it's worth, this film is important because it marks the end of the 5-film collaboration the Marx Brothers had with Paramount Studios. A pretty significant legacy, I suppose, to leave behind. I think it remains relevant for today, not only because of the Marx Brothers themselves, and so many parodies. Of course, it's not the first time it was used, but a very, very famous rendering, I guess, of the mirror sketch. When two people, like a mirror breaks, and then two people stand on either side of the mirror, and they have to copy each other, so it looks like they're doing the same thing and all that. But with some hilarious, genius moments. Okay, so funny, and again, they weren't the first to do it, but it's been copied many, many times since. Really, really joyous there. Just a lot of fun. Also, another war film, and satirical to some degree, okay? They're talking about the silliness of war and how men just get into it. Rulers of countries... Rulers of countries get into wars for no real good reason, mostly just pride. And so somewhat satirical of the time, okay, and even some of the content, there was talk of it being too provocative, or too offensive, even to include in re-releases that have happened in recent years, although everything is still there as it was in the original. Uh, my dear friend Cynthia, who knows so much more about the Marx brothers than I do, she's the good kind of Marxist, I guess, um, told me, about some of the background on this film, and that kind of guided my reflection, even as I watched the film, and was reflecting on it, of course. Obviously, like I said, this was the last of 5 films, including A Night at the Opera, which we've already seen. The last, of 5 with Paramount, and Cynthia was explaining to me that, by this point in time, so much of what the brothers did was scripted and choreographed, whereas in earlier films, very improvised, very free, very spontaneous. I feel like I can see that. I don't know the Marx Brothers as well as I wish I did, but I feel that I can see some of that forcedness in Duck Soup, okay? At the time, of course, Duck Soup was slang for something easy to do. Oh, Duck Soup, I don't know what you would say now. Well, a piece of cake, I guess. Piece of cake or Duck Soup, sticking with the food themes. Um, I don't know why maybe they called it that exactly. Maybe because it was so easy for the Marx Brothers to do this stuff, and they didn't like, that they were kept under the guidelines of the studio and these writers, these men in their stuffed up rooms full of cigarette smoke writing jokes for these geniuses, geniuses who don't need any writers at all, but who can do fine on their own, including music, which there is some of in this film. And I thought about, being true to oneself, and certainly for the Marx Brothers, what seems to me to be their struggle to remain true to themselves and to their fans, to their own talent, even though the studio was pushing on them so hard to be a different way, to do a different thing, whatever it was. I feel like this is part of what Jesus said for us in the great pastoral prayer in John 15. John 15, 18 and 19, quickly here. If the world hates you, you know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, because of this, the world hates you. It's from these verses that comes that very famous saying, sort of a paraphrase of this, we are in the world, but not of the world. And somehow, in its own way, the Marx Brothers seem to be, in Paramount, but not of Paramount. And, they worked for and with the production company, but Paramount was not their true home. Their true home was in their own talent, was in their own genius and capability. I think the same is true for us, at least for me, when I find myself either becoming more worldly or focused on sin or distraction. I find that I really lose myself. I lose that part of Eric that makes Eric true. That I start to give myself and my identity away to someone or something else even. But here Jesus is saying very powerfully, really powerfully, that one, we will not be loved by the world, but abused, adulterated by the world. And 2, that we belong to somewhere else, to someone else. We belong to God. We are God's children. And even though we're in this world for a short time, we belong to a world that is not like this one at all. It's a very difficult, challenging summon to live for the kingdom of God, to live for the world which goes on forever and ever, the world without end. It's very difficult words, but an incredibly powerful admonition to think about that. Does your life reflect an earthly existence? Or do you reflect the direction, the power, the motivation, the passion, the drive to live for heaven, to live for God, to live for Jesus Christ? I guess I got to think about that too a little bit. I think I'm going to. Thank you for watching. Coming up soon, number 59, Nashville. Wow, I watched this movie a long time ago because I had to get it from Netflix, and so I got them all at once, all the ones that I couldn't get from the library or didn't own, and I guess over there. And really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to talk with you a bit about it. Actually, this theme would play beautifully into Nashville, but I have some other ideas, okay? So, number 59, Nashville is coming up. Thank you, as always, for watching. Like and subscribe if you care to. I'm exhausted. Time to lay down over here. Not over here. Here's my pillow. Wait, which way? Which way am I going to lay down? I'm going to lay down on this couch and watch, I think, what's next? Maybe I'll watch Gold Rush. Maybe a little Chaplin to follow up the Marx Brothers. Anyway, thank you, friends, truly for watching, and I do hope that you are, even my snaps would sound tired. Hope that you are a little better. Doing well. Thanks. Bye.